In case that some people still don't get it, I make up my own mind. And it doesn't matter to me how many people try to tell me otherwise. And many times it's actually that the more people are convinced of something that there's no evidence for, there's always a source trying to push an agenda, trying to convince somebody, the masses, of something. And when they have no evidence and when they are wrong, they're often very meticulous when it comes to how to talk to everybody, get people to share something mindlessly. And the next thing you know, a lie becomes common knowledge. And a good example is this whole thing with green hoodie. Somebody just told me, oh, yeah, but you can see uh, Katie Proudfoot handing something to this person. And my reply, of course, is, okay, show me the picture. Well, you can't show me the picture. Show me something that helps me see what you see. Of course, I haven't received it yet because there is nothing. Now, this Durwood, or what, I don't even want to put this name into my mouth. Honestly, I don't even want to put this idiocy I feel dirty. You know what I mean? And I know there are some people who think they're geniuses because they figured out he's lying and they're talking about it on the chat. I'm not talking about you guys, Sunny and Sharp. Thank you for what you're doing. I want to say this, and I was in your chat the other day, and I appreciate that you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So all of a sudden, while some people try to convince me of, all of a sudden I'm hearing from people, oh, didn't you know these messages, all these private messages are all fake, dude, because such and such said they are fake. Really? Based on what? There's something called anonymous author identification, and it's a part of statement analysis. It's a part of advanced statement analysis. I don't need to find proof from somebody whether or not the messages are likely real. I can apply it. It's very lengthy to do. I haven't done it in full. I skipped over the statements from Daniel Martel and the statements from Malehya previously from the channel It's a Criming Shame. And to be honest with you, I got motivated when everybody tried to tell me they're fake. I said, wait a minute, are they really? No, I don't think they're fake at all. What, you don't like the channel? That doesn't make them fake. The same type of people. You should listen to. Okay, thank you for bringing things to my attention, guys. If I don't reply, if I don't even use that person's name, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to get into it at all. I have one mind and I'm going to use it for things that are important. I'm going to analyze things related to Jack and Lily, not somebody coming out of the woodworks. It's not my responsibility to figure out if somebody making some claims is for real, but it is my responsibility to ensure that anything that comes from Malehya and Daniel is going to reach you. So yes, I know about anonymous author identification. No, I didn't sit down for 4 or 5 hours like Peter Hyatt would. But I spent significant time on reading the previous statements. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied when this one, okay, her name is Charmaine, when she shared the, whatchamacallit, she shared her browser information, or she showed her phone, said here the private, here's Daniel's account, here I click on messages, and here are the messages. I'm all right with, I'm, and you see, here's the thing, blind disbelief and blind belief are equally bad. Equally bad. Did you hear what his uncle said? Her uncle said, what? Are you kidding me? Oh, are you want me to tune into channels that do nothing but waste people's time and fabricate things? That's what you want me to do? Really? That's how little you know me after watching me for hours? That you think that just because the mass, or the same with this green hoodie thing? Are you kidding me? Are you really, really kidding me? I don't need. I am not the type of person that believes something because many people believe it, or disbelieves because many people believe it. I am not the kind of person that watches other people to figure out what I should believe. I'm not a sheep. I don't care if it has 400 shares on Twitter. If it seems like BS, it seems like BS to me. I'm not going to dignify it. And I'm serious. I feel dirty when I use put these names into my mouth, these names of fabrication, these completely made up narratives. What about Green Hoodie? Oh my God, are you kidding me? And it's people that otherwise are. No, I was always different in this town, man. I was always different my whole life. And that worked for me and that worked against me. Yes, why are you so difficult? I heard this my whole. And now, yes, you are right. Sunny has a different style than me, and I understand, and she's very personable. Yes, I will say that. I will say that. And I've skipped to the good part. But because she also talks about this, and that's my prerogative, and we all can do that. So I will keep it now on to saying what I really, really think. And they done a great job befriending Belinda. Not great job befriending, that sounds horrible. They done a great job reaching out to Belinda, and Belinda trusts them. And I am extremely moved by her interview. And I'm also moved that Sunny said hi to me in the chat. And I was so surprised. I was about to leave and I hear my name, you know what I mean? I hear my name while I was listening to the live. And no, great work, guys. Great work. I love to expose liars. Actually, I love to expose lies. I do it step by step. I don't grandstand. I don't say necessarily. I expose the lies, and before you know it, the liars will be exposed. I do it step. I don't skip over anything. I don't like to do it. I don't like to leave vacuums because they're often filled with people's so-called comebacks, where they're suddenly able to, inject something that then I need to waste my time on, proving them wrong right here and there. I'm a step by step kind of guy. I'm not a black and white kind of guy like Chris Foot. And black and white kind of guys are usually very stupid because the world is not black and white. The world is gray. It goes from, more than 50 shades of gray, from light gray to dark gray to black to white and so on. So it's different shades of, mixes of black and white, I guess. But an idiot, he can only see this is what it is because this is what my papa told me to believe. Listen, guys, so I feel the need to get that out of the way. I've said it also in the beginning. They were, they are on the right track, I believe. Things, let me listen to it right now. These are new messages from Malehya. And yes, let me just give you the benefit of the doubt. And if somebody now wants to say, but didn't you hear? I hear nothing, dude. Tell me what you really think. Okay? You have proof that this is fake? Bring it. Yeah, but somebody said that. I don't care what anybody says. That's the beauty of statement analysis. I don't need to care. I don't need to take anybody's words. Well, I do take actually people's words for it, but I examine the words. I don't just let them plant a seed and then let it grow in my mind and become uncontrollable vegetation that only takes space, confusing me and others. Everybody can be confused. If you allow yourself to listen to garbage, yeah, within a short period of time, maybe you will say, "Oh, Malehya's uncle said they're on a reservation, and Katie gives something to Green Hoodie, and these are these are all fake." Yeah, 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 yeah. I hope I make it very clear with you guys. I never had an issue. Statement analysis is a real thing. That doesn't mean that everybody that I am here representing me, not other analysts or people who took a class from, I'm not doing that. And statement analysis is a never ending science for forensic linguistics. There's not enough time in my lifetime to get deep enough to know everything. I'm learning every single day. And I'm learning from many of you, many of you. And there are two types of people. There are people who are willing to learn, and there are people who are willing to share what they already learned. And they're okay with that. They learn what they have to either get a degree or a certificate or what have you. And then they think they have the authority to teach others and tell them what to think. I love it when people correct me. And sometimes it's people that were very confused in the very beginning. Not correct me, but point out things that I overlooked, which I will do again and again, especially in my first videos about something. I will overlook a lot of things. And Sunny, thank you again. And yeah, in my last, well, I will maybe send you an email explaining something, one thing, only one thing from the last video. I want to explain it to you. So, without further ado, don't assume that people tell you the truth, and don't assume that people lie to you. Unless they lie so many times that you don't watch their channel anymore. Or you didn't watch them to begin with for a year until somebody convinced you should. When the intentions are fabricating, misleading people, when you have an image, remains found, and the picture of, come on, man. You want me to tune into that? Are you kidding me? And I'm saying this because I want you to realize that many of you have freed your mind from this kind of garbage. Many have. And the next thing I know, your mind gets applied to actual statements that are important. And the next thing I know, I get a message from you guys. And you point something important out to me. So there are people who will never learn, and there are people who love learning. Or people who only learn what they absolutely have to, and those who by nature can't stop learning. I cannot stop myself from learning. If I don't know something, and now I'm going to do it Sunny style, because you said she's more personable than me. So I allow myself to talk about me in this particular segment. I was a kid that always had an extra question, and I'm happy I did. I did it with Peter Hyatt, which he didn't always seem to like when he, analyzed the statement from a celebrity. And I'm a what if kind of guy, meaning I ask questions such as, are we sure the celebrity wrote the statement himself? No, it could have been an attorney. It could have been a team of people surrounding that celebrity, like Michael Jackson, for example. And I don't care if they say he wrote it himself. He probably wrote it himself. There was another one. It was Woody Allen, but then there was another one. There was some baseball players and some. He had a whole bunch of. He gotten people's attention with that, and it's the right thing to do, I think, to go, for whatever is in the news right now. And yes, people pay attention to celebrities, and it's about time that we look a little bit deeper behind the scenes, not with gossip and false allegations and no, none of this crap. And so I'm happy whenever somebody who actually knows something, and I don't want to say go after celebrities. No, that's not my intention to go after anybody. My intentions are to know about this person. Who is this person? Who is this person really? And it's absolutely eye-opening. But my question was, how do we know who wrote it? Because maybe the person is innocent, and maybe the person who wrote it for that celebrity believes he's guilty. So the statement will show up as deceptive. And that's really often the case, that somebody's innocent, but the lawyer thinks, yeah, right, I deal, yeah. I deal with innocent people every freaking day. Get the hell out of here. You know what I mean? Or it can be that celebrity is guilty, but the lawyer, for whatever reason, has gotten to know him or her and thinks, wow, what a charming guy, or what an attractive young woman. Nah, she wouldn't lie to me, right? Well, and I hate it when they always say, Barrymore Few. For the past 5 years, we need to add that he has consistently denied the allegations. Who gives a crap, man? Some people take this crap to that, and let me say, I don't want. Okay, some people, they take things to their graves, and other people can't help but talk, and they will maybe break down and cry and say it all. And I believe Malehya is actually the type of person. If you ask her the right question, she may fall apart. The question is now: is she guilty of anything? Does her language reveal? 100% she knows what happened. 100%. She doesn't necessarily know 100% of what happened, but I am 100% sure that she knows what we all want to know. She has the answer. So some of you have said, maybe that was an abuse. Oh, and let me get to this. Maybe I should fast forward. I knew that there were several statements that Sonny and Cher have not included, or they may have included it in the first video with Daniel's messages, and he said, you got to delete them, and then maybe, but there are messages that I know we haven't seen. And later they will include a very eye-opening one. Maybe I should share it with you guys right now, right? Before I get any further. So this one's from the snake. She was wake at 6 to mark them absent. I was asleep. No, you were not. No, you were not. You were oot and a boot all night. And if you want to know how I have gotten to this conclusion, watch my last video on him. In his own statement, the sun was already up. That's the thing. I see Lily twice that morning. No, you said multiple times she came in the room. And I don't believe it was that morning. I believe it was around the time that something had just happened to Jack. And she was inconsolable. She was screaming and she needed your attention. At first, she just needed your attention. But after that, she was screaming and she was uncontrollable. And something, I believe, was done to her to silence her. I don't know what it was. Peter Hyatt talked about back then when the thing happened with Gabby Petito, when Peter Hyatt was still alive. And he talked about strangulation. And he said that strangulation is quite common when you want to silence somebody. And his proposition was that Gabby Petito was sick and tired of him and was done with him and spoke her mind and told him, it's over, me and you will never. And she probably told him a lot of things that are wrong with him, which he could not stand hearing. So to silence, he choked her. There are certain types of murders that are more common based on what triggered it. And by triggered, I'm using the term triggered it, what triggered the person. Strangulation is often associated with the desire to silence. He said, but drifted back asleep for like 20 minutes. How do you know the exact time, dude? I drifted into sleep earlier. And I thought it was maybe 40 minutes, but it was 3 hours. And other times, I think it's 3 or 4 hours, but it was 20 minutes. And it happens quite a bit lately with me. When I do certain, gym, running, swimming, or whatever, whenever I have these energy spurts, right, that I figure, oh, okay, now I need to do something. And I come home and I deflate. But sometimes I don't need a lot of time. It's almost like a reboot to me, this catnap thing, right? Where basically it's system overload and I say, I need to do something else right now. Believe me, once you have a lot of different statements in front of you, don't know where to begin, you're looking, that's why I don't spread myself too thin anymore. It's always great to reboot. Jump in the pool and do enough rounds fast enough that you are really damn exhausted. Because then it's good to sleep and you wake up with a very clear mind. And if you don't have a clear mind, do not analyze any statements. And I'm not saying this to you guys, I'm saying it to myself as well. Because sometimes you need a reset to realize, oh my God, I listened to some complete nonsense. I listened to somebody I trust, somebody who's good, somebody who has brought me a lot of wonderful statements that I actually used in my videos. But this time, this person seems to be tuning in to a channel where they like the guy who's hosting it, but the guy is, never mind. Let's keep it positive here, okay? So, that was a 4-hour live. I listened to like one or two. And yes, thank you, Sunny. I knew it was, you already had talked about it before, and I'm very much looking forward to how, what was the timestamp again? Okay, back to this idiot. 20 minutes, then when I woke, when I woke, I never heard them. None of this happened that morning. The kids were already gone. They had already been removed, people. There's some experiential memory here. And that came in when he said Lily came into the room multiple times and Jack was out. Something had happened to Jack, and Lily tried to get their attention. And Malehya was on the phone. You see, he's talking about all of these moments. He's trying to cram everything into this morning. Some of you have already realized, how could this happen and this happen at the same time? No, it didn't. I believe all of it happened, but at different times. And there may have been a time when Lily tried to get their attention and Malehya was on her phone. I believe Malehya was resigned. Malehya was exhausted, mentally speaking, from him, and neglectful with her children. And I believe she failed to protect her children as well. So when somebody says she's a victim of abuse, that's not my priority. Yes, it may be the case. My question is, did she protect her children the way she should have or not? And I know women who had told me about relationships that they were beaten, but they made sure their children were never being beaten. And they were beaten more because they fought so hard to keep their children from being beaten. I know women who are heroes. And I have the deepest respect for any woman that protects her children. I believe it is one of the, and men who protects his family in general. But just because you're with a loser doesn't give you the right to shift the blame on that loser when you could have done more to protect your children. So I'm very much against that as well. Well, she had no choice. Not talking about this case right now, but in general. No, I don't go this way. I don't play like that. I don't play like that at all. I show responsibility where it is. So I'm not a black and white kind of guy like Chris Proudfoot. There is a lot of gray, and we need to get to the shades. Daniel thinks he's smart also, because he was the king of his castle. He loved his castle at home. He didn't really have to work. They got a lot of, by the way, now he's not getting any money for the children. And allegedly, I mean, in these messages later, you're going to see Malehya actually accuses him of taking money out of her account, and that he has a card or his name is associated with the account. He didn't even give her privacy of her own money. That was a suggestion I had made. I think to Julia in private, I made the suggestion. I think he had also full control of the finances. And it looks like he really, really did. So she didn't have her own private money, but drifted. Okay, what did I miss? But maybe I woke up because Malehya went back into bed. What does it say? Back never. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm energized though, man. I'm really happy that these guys are not so, well, anyhow. Anywho, what does it say? Oh, I want to know what it says. I cannot make it out. Maybe one of you can point it out to me. How did it stay alive? What's she talking about?
Okay, so yes, I've been separated from him for 12 years ago. Definitely in a better place. Good.
I know Little Miss Muffin,
Yep,
but
I've been, like I said, married with my husband now for 10
okay, so now we're going to, I wanted to read it.
Outside screaming the kid's name. Malehya wasn't doing shit. She was on her phone. She was freaking, Janie said.
Yeah, but that,
about,
again, she was on the phone. No. Sunny, this is actually experiential memory speaking, but again, that part did not happen that morning. It didn't happen that morning. It is significant for us to know that at one point, something happened and Malehya ignored it. And this is what's very crucial to me. Let me see the timestamp here so I can get back to it. Is it what, 3:40? Oh my God, 3 hours 42 minutes. Okay. He never wanted me to go and never knew why he was controlling. Did I miss one? Okay, so Belinda says, and okay, this is allegedly, of course, but I'm confident enough, and no, I'm not going to put a disclaimer and say this may be wrong or may not be wrong. Okay? My disclaimer is I'm confident enough to present this to you. And after all this green hoodie and this other crap, I don't even feel like I need to justify anything that I'm presenting. I know when I'm confident to do. Anyways, let's move on. Malehya, can I ask you a question? Why did you stop visiting with the kids? Interesting, right? From Belinda. She told us about a year and a half ago, a year and 9 months ago. And you see, she is counting the months. As a grandmother, that was, even though she didn't have the address, but she never stopped thinking about the children. You stopped visiting with the kids. I just thought you needed time to convince Daniel he had nothing to worry about. Okay, I remember you said he thought you were only coming because you wanted to see Cody. Yes, Daniel was jealous and Daniel was worried. And how did he handle his jealousy and his worry? He handled it by controlling her. Where do you go? Whom do you message? Why are you going there? Whom do you see? No, you can't. None of this is in the least bit surprising, people. I remember you said he thought you were okay. But I don't understand because we invited him too. Yes, I believe that. They invited, the grandmother said, we're going to bring Daniel also. But he did not want Malehya around his ex. He knew he wasn't the prize. And he was worried that maybe she will see Cody again. And like I say, I don't know what. Of course, you guys are right. When he hasn't seen his kids for 3 years, he doesn't care, or he is, of course, whatever. But who knows? Maybe people can, people's lives can change, their situations can change, and suddenly they are in a better position and happier, or they see things clearer, and the relationships get back together at time. People get remarried, and then they don't divorce for 40 years. It happens, right? So maybe there was, and there's always a problem with who was first, kind of, in my opinion. Meaning it's harder to fall in love the older you get, I think. But you appreciate more what you have, something like that. And you look back at old relationships pretty damn clearly. You see things, you see clearly the crap you have taken that you shouldn't have taken, but you also see very clearly the things that you yourself have done wrong. So you sort of learn through that in new relationships to stand your ground or to set boundaries and say, you know what? I'm not perfect, but this, what you're doing, the way you are handling this, some mistake that I made, I do not deserve it. And I will not put up with it. So I am standing here right now and you can walk away. And I will not change a thing because the beginning is acceptance. I will have a few more sunny moments now. And it actually feels good to explain a little bit more what my real thoughts are actually about the thing, right? Just because I'm a statement analyst doesn't mean I don't have any feelings. It simply means I go mind over matter at it. And more than anything, again, I learn what channels not to listen to. No matter how many people message me about it. And I do appreciate it. But rather than individually replying, this is my message to all of you. I will not pay attention to this. Nothing. No energy, no time. Nothing. If you are convinced something is good, then bring it to my attention. If you really think so. But if it's only because somebody else said it, or you heard something, and you feel sort of, or one person felt empowered to teach me that this is, let's not go there, dude. It needs to come from you. I respect what comes from you, even if you're wrong. Allow yourself to be wrong. Take the chance. Never have a fear of being wrong when your intentions are right. He never wanted me to go and I never knew why he was controlling. Daniel was very controlling. Does that mean he was abusive? No.
Why did you stop visiting with the kids?
Not necessarily.
And she was a shitty mom.
Why didn't you give us your address? We would have gladly come to visit. He never wanted me to give it. I never wanted to stay there. I never wanted to stay there. She never wanted to stay in this damn trailer. That's what she's telling us right now. So this is 343. Listen, guys, I will get back into this later. I'd be happy to.
I guess I gotta go to my Chrome. Jack and Lily, no, that's not the one.
And there are other people mad at me now. I don't care about these stupid channels, right? Not this one, but the others, those. But anyways, let's get to it. Let's go, yeah.
What do you do with it?
All right, let's go for it.
Oh, this one? Okay, this one.
Okay.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let me make it bigger for you. Let me make it bigger for you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So these are text messages between Belinda and Malehya. Okay, and this was just recent. You can see, well, it doesn't say the date there, but It was the past Thursday, okay? 7:25 a.m., and then it kind of flowed into Friday. So
wait, was it past Thursday? Was it already when the grandmother's interview has been published? I think, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But maybe it's... yes, I think that was after we have all seen the interview with the grandmother, with Belinda, right? And if you remember, she said wonderful things about Malehya. Nothing accusatory. And of course, she didn't mention anything about the controlling nature of Daniel. None of it made it to TV. Controlled media, right? Or regulated. I'm sorry, it's regulated media, right? Well, who's the regulator? That's always a problem. So yes, I believe that do you believe in your heart that Daniel could have hurt them? Yeah, I think... okay, let me just listen to her. Go for it.
So you can see Friday at 2:41 p.m. Okay, so obviously you can see here where it says, do you believe in your heart that Daniel could have hurt them? And she says, Malehya says, I don't know, but he's been acting suspicious.
Okay. The question is, do you believe? And she says, I don't know, because I believe she knows. But disregard the previous. She does know. And she doesn't want to tell you how she knows or what makes her think anything. She doesn't want to let him off the hook. So she points fingers. She points fingers without chancing to tell you what she actually knows.
Is too worried about what people think about him and not focus on my kids at all.
Well, what are your children's name, Malehya? This is something that I expected you to say to Belinda. And she had a lot of time to think, and she had peace and quiet, which I believe she had because she accepted, she knows what happened to the children, and she's not worried as a mother because she knows they are beyond help, beyond being helped. She told you sorrow and pain. She grieved the children. This is not something you do when you abduct them to go to a reservation. This is what you do when you know your children are no longer with us, people. Please pay attention to their statements, not any Joe Schmo who's coming. That's Chris Foucher would say that, right? Joe Schmo from the corner of YouTube and social media. What people think about him and not focus on my kids at all. She's not answering the questions here. The question is, do you believe in your heart you would stop and say, you know what, I think he did it? Or you would say, no, that's not who he is. That's what I would expect. But this is very methodical. This is very vague. I don't know, but he's been acting so. She doesn't want to tell you. She knows, but she doesn't want to tell you how. So she mentions something that has been noticed by many people, that she may have heard or may have seen or observed, or she may just repeat what other people have been saying, which I think is very plausible because she copied Belinda's, oh my God, they must be so cold, and turned it into, I hope they're feeling warm. Everything that she said was a copy of either Belinda or whatever she filtered through Daniel, or what they both agreed on her only interview. That was all a copy. She copied other people's feelings in terms of how should I react if I didn't know what happened to my children. So she went back into how Belinda reacted. Oh my God, they must be so cold without their coats. He's too worried about what people think. He is. And she is not. She is not worried. Because I believe that in the back of her mind, nobody ever helped her. Nobody ever really helped her. She had a tough life, I believe that. And she was kind of stuck with her mother, who maybe now, changed her ways a little bit. But, there are certain parts of the statements from Logan and Daniel that I actually believe, that are credible, that are reliable. So nobody always lies and nobody always tells the truth. Let me repeat this. Nobody always tells the truth. Nobody. Right? So when somebody says, I never lie, that's a damn lie. You just lied. That's what Daniel told us. Told in the messages. I never lie. Oh, really? Right. Yes, he is always worried about what people think. The perception people have of him, I think, is his biggest asset and has been. I think he comes across like um, in a way, how do I say this? Like an innocent, like a very, like a, he doesn't come across negatively to people. Like when you meet a guy like Chris Foot, you probably immediately think, yeah, no, no thanks. But he is more personable. And I think he's been told that, and he has experienced that people tend to trust him even when he does something wrong, even when he's not trustworthy. I think that's a certain pattern that he developed, and a certain confidence in his own appearance or his ability to communicate, right, about him, and not focus. She's telling Belinda what she thinks she wants to hear. He doesn't focus on his kids at all. But I also think that even though she says she's not paying attention to social media, she's paying attention to something. She's reading some comments here and there. And it's very obvious to many that he doesn't pay attention to the kids at all. And she copies from what other people have said. I believe she's simply giving lines to avoid telling us what she believes in her heart, because she doesn't believe in her heart, she knows in her mind and her heart what happened exactly, and she doesn't want to say it.
I do have to stop right there because that's almost what do you want to call it? Priceless. So Daniel's too worried about what people think about him and not focus on my kids at all. Huh.
How about focus?
Is that the pot calling the kettle black?
How about focus on Jack and Lily?
On that one, because everything we have seen, like I'm just being real here, right? But everything we have seen is not a mother screeching from the rooftops using her social media or anything. She just vanished.
Right.
So does she mean that the cops are doing the work and that she's trying to provide them information in the background? Because everything we've seen from Daniel, right? If we believe Daniel, he's the one out.
No, she is resigned. And the resigned attitude, again, comes, I think, from childhood also. She didn't have a good life. She didn't have an easy life. She sort of went from one crappy situation into another, and then in another. And she just sort of started to shut herself off. And people also said that she was to herself. She didn't really mingle with people. She was, she is not like Daniel, who's presenting himself to the outside like everything is perfect. I think that's one of the things he's been doing his whole life, that he presents himself, he acts like everything is wonderful when it's not. And Malehya wasn't able to do that. She kind of didn't have the energy for that. So she kind of withdrew, even when she was in this damn house where she didn't want to be. She even told that in the message to Belinda. She never wanted to be there in that trailer, but it turned into 2 or 3 years. So she was maybe embarrassed about the situation. She didn't want people to get close to her. She didn't want people to ask her questions because there was a lot to hide, I believe. And Daniel's reaction to that was to probably present himself like a smiley, all around boy next door type, while she just said, "Oh, I cannot face anybody right now. I'm just gonna live in my misery, and I'm used to misery. Misery is familiar territory to her, right?" So, yes, she was very resigned. But again, and again, there are those that continue the cycle of abuse, and then there are those who break it. She was not a cycle breaker. That is my problem with her. Whatever happened, whatever, and I've said it before, I believe there was escalation. I don't believe what happened was out of the blue. I believe that little by little, she gave up on her kids. And she allowed him to do with them whatever he wanted, to keep him quiet. That's why he told us they were wild with her. That's his excuse why he was rough with them, maybe. Not just maybe, I believe that was, yes, that's why he feels the need to say that. You say they're wild with their mom. I had to do what I had to do. That's what the justification is for that. Why did you beat him? They're wild with their mom. So he's putting himself into the hero mode again. They don't respect their mother. Oh, I will teach them. That's an excuse to go overboard with the so-called discipline. Yeah, there's abuse and there's discipline. Well, some people don't know where the line is, like Chris Proudfoot. He doesn't know where the line is because he himself was abused by Terry Bowersucks, but he accepted that. He accepted it and passes it on. And she doesn't mention her children's name. There's extreme distancing in here. Extreme distancing, avoiding, there's major avoidance going on. She doesn't answer the question what she believes. Go for it.
In the interviews, he's the one that's talking and talking and talking. So I kind of had a hard time when I read that line because I'm not focused on my kids at all. Yeah, that's right. Your kids. Oh, right. Your kids. Not his, but your kids. So that's kind of like, right on that one. But anyways, everything he's doing is odd, and the police advised him to stay away from the social media. And
I believe that Malehya probably allowed a lot of abuse. And she knows she failed as a mother. Now, is anything or what about it would be criminal? That's yet to be seen. But there's a reason other than just avoiding prison time, I believe, why she doesn't want to talk. There may be a lot of shame because she experienced abuse in her childhood, allegedly. And she may have allowed even worse, much worse, at their home. There was a CPS case open. And obviously, they let Meadow live with her. The abuse did not come from her. And CPS doesn't just come to you because you have a learning disability, right? Right? I mean, there must be something. Yeah, this has been ongoing. And again, Logan told us he has proved himself time and time again. If you have to prove yourself and you state it as proving yourself, that means that he did something really bad that he needed to make up for. He had to prove himself. But the problem is that to the outside it may have seemed to be like that. What were things like really at home? With these kids who talk your ear off, you see, she's victim blaming too, Malehya. She's putting it on the children. And him saying they were wild with her. Remember Orson and Orrin West? The father said they're rambunctious. When you talk negatively about a missing child, you're giving us the reason, your reason why they are no longer around. When Katie Proudfoot talked about Sebastian, or Chris called him also rambunctious, and Katie Proudfoot, he's overstimulated. He gets overstimulated. She's telling you the reason why she overmedicated him, allegedly. Which I believe indirectly contributed to his death. I'm not going to get into more details because I already did that numerous times.
to stop contacting me. He also tried to,
Everything he's doing is odd. Yep. I mean, that's a very general observation, right? I mean, everybody, she wants to know what you believe in your heart, but you're really telling us something that people are talking about, that everybody's observing. Everything he's doing is odd, and the police advised him to stay away from the media. How do you know that? Well, maybe already in the briefing, right? To stop, what is it, suspecting me, to stop attacking, to stop away from the media, to stop, okay, accusing me. I don't care. I don't. Did she read it?
he also tried to steal money from my account through Timu.
Oh, God.
Because my cards was attached to his account. So
Please.
Everything is not right.
Bear with me, my
To
friends.
stay away from the social media and to stop contacting me.
Contacting.
He also tried to steal money from my account through Timu. Because my cards was attached to his account.
Got it.
So everything is not right. My main focus right now is to protect Meadow and find my kids.
What are your children's names? This is the last priority. Find my kids. Again, also here, the kids. No names mentioned. That comes at the very end. She reminds herself, I need to include my children in that. I need to appear like I am concerned because I actually know what happened, and I need to act like I'm still looking for them, which you have never done, right? And again, just because maybe he was abusive, and again, controlling and abusive is not necessarily the same thing. It can lead to abuse, but yeah, let's keep it step by step here. Not focus on my kids at all. This is the last part, the kids. And check this out. I haven't even gotten to it yet. Here, the kids are also the last part. She makes sure to end everything with my kids. By the way, my kids. She reminds herself at the very end without mentioning their names.
Then Belinda says, Daniel has been saying to YouTubers.
My focuses are now main focus. Oh my God, my main focus. My only focus are Jack and Lily. That's what I would expect. But Meadow is first, because Meadow is alive. And it's her main focus. And then she injects the kids. She's learning what to say. She figured out what people will say if she doesn't mention her children. But she cannot force herself to mention their names, because the memory of her children will bring to her mind what horrific thing happened to them, in my opinion. She cannot allow herself to mention their names, because then she has to revisit her connection, her real connection to them. In your heart, avoidance with the children's names. She doesn't allow herself to revisit what happened, the reality of it. And I believe that disconnect already she learned in childhood, possibly from her own feelings. She learned how to disconnect emotionally. And she also learned, oh, by the way, something Sunny said also later was really accurate about the daughters of Barry Morphew. I have made a video about them very briefly, but yes, I agree. I didn't even know that they were taking pictures in their bathing. She said something like that when their mother was missing. I'm trying not to get sidetracked here. I'm easy to sidetrack, by the way, but I know my limits. And that's why, you see, I don't get into any garbage. So my main focus right now, no, your only focus should be the children, to find them. Yes, you take it. That's a given for you to put. Meadow is with you, right? And you are protected. They're not letting Daniel. Uh, Now there's a CPS. The CPS already decided. Meadow is fine. Jack and Lily shouldn't be, right? Daniel knows they died, and it's over. It's over. Not one concern about Jack and Lily. She cannot mention their names. She has to keep it general to protect her, to keep her own real emotions from surfacing. She keeps everything very, very vague. This is not a real conversation. She is not answering Belinda properly.
That he believes you have the kids taken that morning, and he woke up when you came to bed, and she said, let him say whatever he wants. I can't say anything to anyone anymore.
Okay, let him say whatever he wants. You know what? This reminds me of how I felt when people asked me, what do you think about what Malehya's alleged uncle said, or something like that? And I said, I didn't even get myself to say anything. I'm just like, I am done with I am done with fabrications. I'm just done. Let them say whatever they want. And if you're watching that channel, the joke is on you. Right? I often say it. You guys can listen to what you want to. You can go out and play in mud, but before you come to my house, take off your shoes. Don't bring that to me unless you have a real good reason that you are yourself convinced that this is something that should be brought to my attention. Not because you feel justified, because you were just in a chat somewhere else where a lot of people convince each other there must be something. Oh, we are on it right now. Oh, we are cracking the case, dude. They're on a reservation. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Never trust people in big crowds. Never trust a big crowd, man, at all. Trust the individuals when you get them. And believe me, when I get them one on one, I say, did you really see that Katie Proudfoot hand something to that person in the parking lot? And if when the answer is, well, I'm not good with technology, and first of all, you are very good with it, but I'm not so good at, no, 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 no. Did you really see? No? Okay. Okay, then don't say it. Don't repeat other people's lies. I don't live in other people's suspicions or beliefs. I may share them, but just because somebody says, oh, no, 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 you wouldn't be. When once you get deeper into statement analysis, trust me, the last thing you will do is take people's words on anything unless their statements show up as reliable, which they rarely do. People lie all the time about people lie about insignificant things. People exaggerate all the time. People hide how they really feel. That was one thing in Barry Morphew's daughter, uh, who only threw out around terminology about trauma and all of these. Uh, she never told us how she really feels and what she really thinks. Remember one of my last videos? You should watch it. I know the case. I'm not that interested in Barry Morphew either, but I figured I need to, because back then I remember Peter Heyer talking about all the time, but I was usually stuck on something on his blog. And not just to read it, but also get deeper and revisit and revisit. And the more I revisited something, the more I realized that I discovered more and more and more that wasn't written, while the writings sent me in the right direction, which is what I normally do when I do a first video on a new statement. But then the real work begins. That's when you really see what's going on, people. Let him say whatever. She is dismissive. I don't care what he says. She feels very safe to say that. She doesn't dignify it, any of what he says, because she knows what he is guilty of. I can't say anything to anyone anymore. Well, yeah. She's been mentally exhausted by their relationship. In that trailer where she never wanted to stay to begin with. And I believe her that he is the only reason she didn't bring the kids to grandma. She's very different from him. This chaos came from him. He exploited an emotional vulnerability that he detected in her. Certain people have an eye for weaknesses. Chris Proudfoot does too. When he talked to that woman who presents herself as a child advocate, even on television, Terry Lynn, he spotted her weaknesses. He's good at that. Some people are very, very good at that. They don't focus on how to make their lives better necessarily, how to improve themselves, but they know how to see a vacuum in somebody. And then they come in with the right type of verbiage, the right types of lines, and know what to say. Tell them what they want to hear. Oh, she's been neglected as a child. Let me tell her all these sweet things and be the Daniel that she first met. The wonderful Daniel, right? Presenting myself in such a great way. Until I'm not afraid to lose her anymore. Probably when she became pregnant with Meadow. He probably figured she's mine now. She's stuck now. I no longer have to be the good guy or present myself as a good guy or live up to the persona that I've created.
And then it's your lawyer can speak. Your lawyer can speak on your behalf, and she said yes. So Daniel is putting all eyes on you. She said, seems like it, but I'm not.
So the lawyer saying absolutely, there is a clear yes. You see, just a yes, that's reliable. There's no attempt to convince, nothing unnecessary. This is a true answer. She feels this guy can say whatever he wants. She sees him so clearly right now. A user, abuser, loser. UAL. That's how she sees him now. I can guarantee you. A user, abuser, and loser. And there's no chance in hell she would ever want to be back with him no matter what happens. No chance in hell. Now, when it comes to Cody, what I was saying, well, it's not important, but this is not worth her time. He's not worth her time anymore. She's no longer scared. She's no longer intimidated. And he has no access to her to sweet talk her anymore, to make false promises. She looks back at the last few years in horror. Oh my God, how stupid I was. She has a lawyer. She's safe. The lawyer takes care. She feels protected. So Daniel is putting all eyes on you. Sorry, what did she say? Seems like it, but I'm
not following the media, and I've asked, where's the rest of it? And I've asked,
people to respectfully not send things to me.
I'm not sure where that part went.
It's right here. And I've asked people to respectfully not send things to me. Oh, that's a good one. You see, that's what I did with this Durwood crap. Please, don't send me links to 3 or 4 hour lives where some idiot calls in, pretending to be somebody. Who cares? Right? Please don't send this crap to me. He's not important. Nothing he says is important to her. She doesn't feel threatened by him at all, by his allegations. At all. And if they feel it is of concern, to send it to the police. Yeah. Let's have the police Daniel deal with Daniel, and let's let Daniel deal with the police. I believe she allowed what happened to happen. And I believe she allowed a lot of bad to happen to the children. That's just my thought right now. You know what I mean? That's where my mind is going at this particular time. So, of course, many people said, oh, maybe she has postpartum depression, and Daniel, is protecting her. No, 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 no. I analyzed enough of Daniel's statements. My eyes are on him. Wow.
And I've asked.
Come on, Sonny.
Maybe I'm not showing a piece of it. I'll have to take a look in a minute.
So there are other things probably that she's not putting up there because she created just one screenshot like this. Let's see.
Anyways, that morning he woke up when you came to bed. Maybe I have them out of orders. Oh, maybe that's why.
Now
okay, because this is over here. Your grandmother's, some about your grandmother's cousin have been thinking the same thing. He too has been on social media.
Your grandmother's cousin has been thinking the same. He's been on social media. Okay, yes, I remember that. Your grandmother's cousin. Okay.
Who are you protecting Meadow from? And then she's like, oh my F, I can't even listen to that. I've heard all this.
Oh, so that's a cousin of the grandmother?
And she said CPS. And seems like it.
CPS. Incoming, and he woke up when your grandmother's cousin. Okay, so she doesn't pay attention to anybody's guesses, I guess, right? Or she sees there are a lot of, I can't even listen to that. We heard all that. She's being dismissive again. Like these people don't know what really happened, but she knows what happened. Who are you protecting Meadow from? From CPS? Not from Daniel? So that is pretty eye-opening to me. If this is a clear reply to who are you protecting Meadow from CPS, and I believe her. It's a very short answer. She's protecting Meadow from CPS. She doesn't want to there is a danger that Meadow will end up in the hands of CPS, and which tells me that she has something to hide. That there's something about her action or inaction, possibly with Jack and Lily, that could get Meadow taken away from her. That may be why she doesn't want the truth to come out. So yes, she doesn't want to go to prison. That's to your question. Why is she protecting Daniel? Right? I'm not going to say who said it, who asked me this, because I want to tell you more. in private later. Why doesn't she tell us what Daniel did? There's the possibility he's not wanting to go to prison. She's embarrassed. She failed as a mother. She feels absolutely guilty, not necessarily in a criminal manner, but absolutely guilty in having allowed so much bad to happen to Jack and Lily that now may have escalated in why they're no longer with us, possibly, potentially, in my opinion, allegedly. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. Everything I'm stating are my thoughts and my thoughts only. Or that's it. Number 3, she doesn't want Meadow to be taken away from her. Because if they know how much abuse there possibly was and what she didn't intervene, what she allowed to happen, be it by her being on the phone, being passive and not stepping in when she should have, failure to protect. She knows that if the truth comes out, she will lose Meadow, and Meadow is their only connection, the only connection with Daniel right now. They both agree they don't want Meadow to be in the hands of CPS. And that's the reason why he said, leave Malehya alone. What? Shut the hell up, dude. Leave Malehya alone. You're the one who made these accusations towards her. What? Tell me you were lying. Tell me, I'm sorry, I was angry and I fabricated a bunch of shit. None of what I said was true in these private messages. She didn't have a guilty look on her face, like she was caught, and she wasn't, how about saying she wasn't a bad mom to help her keep Meadow. But they don't pay attention to this guy. They don't believe him any. That's not their focus anyways. But this is the reason right here. This is why she's not telling on Daniel, because she's in it. She failed to, at the very least, she failed to protect. And she knows they will not let her have any children if they know what her actions or inactions were and what role she played.
But I'm not okay. So I'm not. Do I have this at a border? My goodness. I'm not following the media, and I've asked people to respectfully not send me things. And if they feel like it is of concern, then send it to police. Good advice. And then she says the truth always comes out. And then Belinda says, I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah, the truth always comes out. Well, you know the truth. And comes out how? What's out there? So again, thank you, It's a Crime and Shame, Sunny and Shar, for bringing this to all of our attention. And I hope that you guys see what I see. And if there's something else that you see, something you disagree with, please don't hesitate to bring it my way. And I'll be back with more.